Namaste. Now I want to read another chapter of the Book of Secret, which is Osho's commentary on the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. The Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is an old Hindu scripture. It is a conversation actually between Shiva and Devi. So Devi questions, Shiva answers. And the answer are the techniques, the 112 techniques of meditation. And I'm going to read now a new chapter. And the chapter is called 27. It is the only the unreal dissolves. The sutras. 82. Feel my thought, I-ness. Internal organs, me. 83. Before desire and before knowing, how can I say I am? Consider, dissolve in the beauty. 82. Feel, don't think. First, feel my thought, I-ness, internal organs, me. Feel my thought, I-ness, internal organs, me. A very simple and very beautiful technique. Feel my thought, I-ness, internal organs, me. The first thing is not to think, but to feel. And what is the difference between feeling and thought? If you feel, you will feel yourself centered near the heart. If it is just a thought, it will come from my head. When you love someone, try to feel whether it is coming from the head or whether it is coming from the heart. So when such techniques have to be practiced, the first difficulty will be that you don't know what feeling is. Try to develop it. When you touch something, close your eyes. Don't think. Feel. For example, if I take your hand in my hand and I say to you, close your eyes and feel what is happening, immediately you will say, your hand is in my hand. But this is not a feeling. This is a thinking. Then I again say to you, feel, don't think. Then you say, you are expressing your love. That too is again thinking. If I insist again, just feel, don't use your head. What are you feeling right now? Only then will you be able to feel and say the warmth. Because love is a conclusion. Your hand is in my hand. This is a head-oriented thought. The actual feeling is that a certain warmth is flowing from my hand to your hand or from your hand to my hand. Our life energies are meeting, and the point of meeting has become hot. It has become warm. This is the feeling, the sensation, the real, but we go on with the head continuously. That has become a habit. We are trained for it. So you will have to reopen your heart. Try to live with feelings. Sometimes in the day when you are not doing any particular business, because in business, in the beginning, it will be difficult to live with feeling. There, head has proved very efficient, and you cannot depend on feeling. While you are at home, playing with your children, the head is not needed. It is not a business, but there too you are with the head. Playing with your children or just sitting with your wife or not doing anything, relaxing in a chair, feel. Feel the texture of the chair. Your hand is touching the chair. How are you feeling it? The air is blowing, the breeze is coming in, it touches you. How do you feel? Smells are coming from the kitchen. How do you feel? Just feel. Don't think about them. Don't start brooding that this smell shows that something is being prepared in the kitchen. Then you will start dreaming about it. No, just feel whatsoever is the fact. Remain with the fact. Don't move in thinking. You are surrounded from everywhere. Everywhere so much is converging on you. The whole existence is coming to meet you from everywhere. From all your senses it is entering you. But you are in the head, and your senses have become dead. They don't feel. A certain growth will be needed before you can do this, because this is an inner experiment. If you cannot feel the outer, it will be very difficult for you to feel the inner, because the inner is the subtle. If you cannot feel the gross, you cannot feel the subtle. If you cannot hear the sounds, then it will be difficult for you to hear the inner soundlessness. It will be very difficult. It is so subtle. You're just sitting in the garden, the traffic is passing by, and there are many noises and many sounds. You just close your eyes and try to find the most subtle sound there around you. A crow is crowing. Just concentrate yourself on that crow's noise. The whole traffic noise is going on. The sound is such, it is so subtle that you cannot be aware of it unless you focus your awareness towards it. But if you focus your awareness, the whole traffic noise will go far away, and the noise of the crowd will become the center. And you will hear it, all the nuances of it, very subtle, but you will be able to hear it. Grow in sensitivity. When you touch, when you hear, when you eat, when you take a bath, allow your senses to open and don't think, feel. You are standing under the shower. Feel the coolness of the water falling on you. Don't think about it. Don't immediately say, it is very cool, it is cold, it is good. Don't say anything. Don't verbalize, because the moment you verbalize, you miss feeling. The moment words come in, the mind has started to function. Don't verbalize. Feel the coolness and don't say that it is cool. There is no need to say anything. But our minds are just mad. We go on saying something or other. Feel my thought. Close your eyes and feel the thought. A continuous flow of thoughts is there. A continuum, a flux, a river of thoughts is flowing. Feel these thoughts. Feel their presence. And the more you feel, the more will be revealed to you. Layers upon layers. Not only thoughts that are just on the surface, behind them there are more thoughts. And behind them there are still more thoughts. Layers upon layers. And the technique says, feel my thought. And we go on saying, these are my thoughts. But feel, are they really yours? Can you say my? The more you feel, the less will it be possible for you to say that they are yours. They are all borrowed, and they are all from the outside. They have come to you, but they are not yours. No thought is yours. Just dust gathered. Even if you cannot recognize the source from where this thought has come to you, no thought is yours. If you try hard, you can find from where this thought has come to you. If you can see that no thought is yours, and you will see, because you will be the seer and thoughts will become the objects, when you silently look at the thoughts, thoughts will be the objects and you will be the looker. You will be the seer, the witness, and thoughts will be flowing before you. And if you look deeply and feel deeply, you will see that there are no roots. Thoughts are floating like clouds in the sky. They have no roots in you. They come and go. You are just a victim, and you unnecessarily become identified with them. About every cloud that passes by your house, you say, this is my cloud. Thoughts are like clouds. In the sky of your consciousness, they go on passing, and you go on clinging to each one. You say, this is mine, and this is only a vagrant cloud that is passing, and it will pass. This sutra says, feel. Be established in feeling first, then my thought. Look at that thought which you have always been calling my thought. Established in feeling, looking at thought, the my disappears. And my is the trick, because out of many my's, out of many me's, the I evolves. This is mine, this is my. So many minds, out of them the I evolves. This technique starts from the very root. Thought is the root of all. If you can cut the feeling of my at the very root, it will not appear again. It will not be seen anywhere again. But if you don't cut it down there, you can go on cutting everywhere and it is useless. It will go on appearing again and again. I can cut it. I can say, my wife? No, we are strangers and marriage is just a social formality. I cut myself away. I say, no one is my wife, but this is very superficial. Then I say, my religion. Then I say, my sect. Then I say, this is my religious book. This is the Bible. This is the Quran. This is my book. Then the my continues in some other field and you remain the same. My thought and then I-ness. First look at the traffic of thought, the process of thought, the river-like flow of thought, and find out whether any thought belongs to you or whether they are just passing clouds. And when you have come to feel that no thought is yours, to attach my to any thought is an illusion. Then the second thing, then you can move deeper. Then be aware of I-ness. Where is this I? We never feel it. We go on saying I. The word I is used continuously. The most used word is I. But you have no feeling. What do you mean by I? When you say I, what do you mean? What is connected through this word? What is expressed? I can make a gesture. Then I can say, I mean this. I can show my body. I mean this. But then it can be asked, do you mean your hand? Do you mean your leg? Do you mean your stomach? Then I will have to deny. I will have to say no. Then the whole body will be denied. Then what do you mean when you say I? Do you mean your head? Deep down, whenever you say I, it is a very vague feeling, and a vague feeling is of your thoughts. Established in feeling, cut from thoughts, face I-ness, and as you face it, you find that it exists not. It was only a useful word, a linguistic symbol, necessary but not real. Even a Buddha has to use it, even after his enlightenment. It is just a linguistic device. But when a Buddha says I, he never means I, because there is no one. When you face this I-ness, it will disappear. Fear can grip you at this moment. You can be scared, and it happens to many who move in such techniques deeply that they become so afraid that they run out of it. So remember this. When you feel and face your I-ness, you will be in the same situation as you will be when you die. The same. Because I is disappearing and you feel death is occurring to you. You feel you will have a sinking sensation. And you will feel you are sinking down and down. And if you get afraid, you will come out again and you will cling to thoughts because those thoughts will be helpful. Those clouds will be there. You can cling to them and then the fear will leave you. Remember, this fear is very good, a very hopeful sign. It shows that now you are going deep, and death is the deepest point. If you can go into death, you will become deathless, because one who goes into death cannot die. Then death is also just around, never in the center, just on the periphery. When I-ness disappears, you are just like death. The old is no more and the new has come into being. This consciousness which will come out is absolutely new, uncontaminated, young, virgin. The old is no more and the old has not even touched it. That I-ness disappears and you are in your pristine virginity, in your absolute freshness. The deepest layer of being has been touched. So think of it in this way. Thoughts, then below them I-ness, and then thirdly, feel, my thought, I-ness, internal organs, me. When thoughts have disappeared or you are not clinging to them, if they are passing, it is none of your business. You are aloof and detached and unidentified, and the I-ness has disappeared. Then you can look at the internal organs. These internal organs, this is one of the deepest things. We know the outer organs. With hands I touch you, with eyes I see you. These are the outer organs. The internal organs are those through which I feel my own being. Consciousness, intelligence, they are internal organs. Through them I am aware of my own being, of my own existence. That's why if you close your eyes, you can forget your body completely, but your own feeling that you are remains. If you can recognize the internal organs, you are freed from society completely, and the inner reality can be known only when you have come to the inner organs. Internal organs, you can then look through those internal organs, and then the me. When thoughts are uprooted, when I-ness has disappeared, when internal organs are known, the me appears. Then for the first time my real being is revealed. The real being is called me. Sorry. This me doesn't belong to you. This me is your innermost center, unknown to you. This me is not an ego. This me is not against any you. This me is cosmic. This me has no boundaries. In this me everything is implied. This me is not a wave. This me is the ocean. When this me is revealed, then one comes to know Aham Brahmasmi. I am the God. That's what we all want to realize. I am the God or the goddess. So. Just 1 second. Oh. Okay. Let's continue. So, change your focus to the gaps. This is Sutra 83. Before desire and before knowing, how can I say I am? Consider. Dissolve in the beauty. Before desire and before knowing, how can I say I am? A desire arises. With the desire, the feeling that I am arises. A thought arises. With the thought, the feeling that I am arises. Look for it in your own experience. Before desire and before knowing, there is no ego. Sit silently, look within. A thought arises, you get identified with the thought. A desire arises, you get identified with the desire. In the identification, you become the ego. Then think. There is no desire and there is no knowledge and no thought. You cannot get identified with anything. The ego cannot arise. Buddha used this technique and he said to his disciples, not do anything else but just one thing. When a thought arises, note it down. Buddha used to say that when a thought arises, note down that a thought is arising. Just inside, note it. Now a thought is arising, now a thought has arisen, now a thought is disappearing. Just remember that now the thought is arising, now the thought has arisen, now the thought is disappearing, so that you don't get identified with it. It is very beautiful and very simple. A desire arises, you are walking on the road, a beautiful car passes by, you look at it, and you have not even looked, and the desire to possess, it arises. Do it. In the beginning, just verbalize, just say slowly, I have seen a car. It is beautiful. Now a desire has arisen to possess it. Just verbalize. In the beginning, it is good. If you can say it loudly, it is very good. Say loudly, I am just noting that a car has passed. The mind has said it is beautiful, and now desire has arisen, and I must possess this car. Verbalize everything. Speak loudly to yourself, and immediately you will feel that you are different from it. Note it. When you have become efficient in noting, there is no need to say it loudly. Just inside note that a desire has arisen. A beautiful woman passes, the desire has come in. Just note it as if you are not concerned. You're just noting the fact that it is happening, and then suddenly you will be out of it. Buddha says, note down whatsoever happens. Just go on noting, and when it disappears, again note that now the desire has disappeared, and you will feel a distance from the desire, from the thought. This technique says, before desire and before knowing, how can I say, I am? So before desire, remember. When the desire comes in, remember. When the desire goes out, go on remembering. When a thought arises, remember. Look at it. Just note that a thought has arisen. Sooner or later it will go, because everything is momentary, and there will be a gap. Between two thoughts there is a gap. Between two desires there is a gap. And in the gap there is no I. Note a thought in the mind, and then you will feel that there is an interval. Howsoever small, there is an interval. Then another thought comes. Then again there is an interval. In those intervals there is no I. And those intervals are your real being. Thoughts are moving in the sky. In those intervals you can look between two clouds and the sky is revealed. Consider, dissolve in the beauty, and if you can consider that a desire has arisen and a desire has gone, and you have remained in the gap, and the desire has not disturbed you, it came, it went, it was there, and it is now not there, and you have remained unperturbed, you have remained as you were before it. There has been no change in you. It came and it passed like a shadow. It has not touched you. You remain unscarred. Consider this movement of desire and movement of thought, but no movement in you. Consider, dissolve in the beauty, and that interval is beautiful. Dissolve in that interval. Fall in the gap and be the gap. It is the deepest experience of beauty, and not only of beauty, but of good and of truth also. In the gap you are. The whole emphasis has to go from the filled spaces to the unfilled spaces. You are reading a book. There are words, there are sentences, but between the words there are gaps. Between the sentences there are gaps. In those gaps you are. The whiteness of the paper you are, and the black dots are just clouds of thought and desire moving on. Change the emphasis, change the gestalt. Don't look at the black dots, look at the white. In your inner being, look at the gaps. Be indifferent to the filled spaces, the occupied spaces. Be interested in the gaps, the intervals. Through those intervals you can dissolve into the ultimate beauty. That's what we all want. So, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste. Bye-bye.